Recording now?
Now we're recording. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dissonant Waves. This is episode 73. Yeah, it is. Episode 73.
Holy shit.
I want to just make sure with Dominic, we've had too many times. Are we for sure recording? Is everything working audio-wise? I want to
Your
make sure
levels are
before
coming in. My levels are
They're all-
coming
they're all-
in. The
they're all
recording
coming.
timer is going.
Cool. Everyone can now hear this. This cunt eats his steak well done.
Yeah. I do.
Disgusting.
Like I said, if it's medium, well, I'm not going to complain. I was just, had it instilled in me as a child that pink is bad.
If it's medium well, it's not even close to the good cooking of a steak. Either rare or medium rare.
Yeah.
Or get out.
I'm sorry. I guess you can call that steak trauma.
A little. That's my complaints out of the way. What albums are we covering this week, Dominic?
Let's see. We got 3 albums and an EP. Astro-Man's EEVIAC Operational Index and Reference Guide, including other modern computational devices. Plus, Astro-Man's Deluxe Man in Space EP. Also got the Turnstile album, Glow On. And Eastwood After Hours, live at Carnegie Hall, which isn't really a Clint Eastwood album as much as it is a celebration of Clint Eastwood and jazz.
Can we just talk about the kind of differences between all these albums? Like we have, well, not between all of them, but specifically Clint Eastwood. We have like the kind of heavy albums here. I guess Astro-Man's like the heaviest shit that's ever been put out.
It's long anticipated.
No.
But these two are quite heavy albums, and then we just had this like jazz soundtrack live album.
It's quite a diverse set of things going on here.
It gives us the dissonant in our waves.
Yes.
It only took us 70-something episodes.
One of you
3.
chose hardcore, one of you chose surf punk, and I chose jazz.
Yeah. Which one do we want to start with first?
I just would like to ask before we get started, can you hear my griddle? Because if so, I'm sorry.
A little bit. It's
Never
fine, though.
apologize for cooking food.
Fair enough.
I just apologize for not sharing.
I wish I could waft the smells through the microphone.
This podcast has so many background noises in general. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I was editing Origami Angel episode, and I think it was raining that day when Ritz recorded.
Yeah, most likely.
Like, you just hear the rain slightly in the background whenever you're talking. It's kind of fun and relaxing.
And maybe you'll be able to hear my cookie clicker if it comes through my mic.
It is indeed coming through.
You can hear it. Yeah.
Alright, so Clint Eastwood's going to be the first or second, I would imagine.
Do we want to do Clint Eastwood first?
Let's do Turnstile first.
Let's do Turnstile first. Alright, well,
This is the
I
American
guess we-
Turnstile with an I, to be clear.
yeah, I've never listened to the Australian one, but I have heard the name. So this album, I kind of built up by just saying this album fucks, because there have definitely been weeks where I've just said fuck it, I'm gonna pick this album that I've been listening to a lot at this current period of time. I think one of the most notable ones that I did that to was Ween's the Mollusk. I was just like, fuck, I don't want to keep listening to it this week, so that's a good excuse to do that. And then I just bring it up on the podcast, and boom, we're done. And this one actually got recommended to me through someone on another Discord that I moderate. We share a lot of punk / hardcore kind of like recommendations with each other, and with other people as well. And he was pretty much shilling this album, and especially when the singles were coming out. I finally got around to listening to it. A little bit also after Fantano gave it a good score. I was like, yeah, maybe I should finally actually get around to this. And I did, and it fucks. I got no other context
That's
for that.
I mean,
I don't
yeah,
even
I
know if
understand
it's
why
my
you picked it, if you like it and you think
Yeah.
it's good.
I don't know if it's even my number one this week, but I don't care. It fucks.
It's a pretty good album. It's not like my main like style of like hardcore punk, but like I
Mm.
dig.
I think they do punk in their own style, and it
Yeah.
stands out.
They lean more into like a new metal-y sound, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
They blur the lines between
Ah, shit.
electronic and punk. And yeah, it does kind of go into a bit of new metal, but I think they don't quite cross over to there as well. And specifically, they don't have the cringe nature that a lot of early new metal did.
Yeah.
If you ever see one of their shows, they are straight up just a kind of mosh style band. You'll see you'll see them doing nothing but stage diving from the audience members and all that stuff and stuff. I think they generally run into the crowd a lot themselves, and you can kind of imagine that just listening to the albums themselves. Like every time the kind of music kicks in on Mystery, I just imagine someone doing a backflip.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing to point out is that like they also try to do other stuff. Some of these songs kind of start with like an indie kind of beat, and then it switches over.
Yeah.
There was a lot of It's also why this album has kind of been labeled maybe a bit unfairly, but also fairly as dream punk, because there are a lot of kind of ambient moments on this album, which is interesting. Like Mystery has a couple of that. Underwater Boy, I'd say, is one of the more ambient tracks on here. Like the best song to actually kind of describe this album is The Closer, which starts off as this really heavy punk song, and then just Blood Orange, who actually collaborates on this album, is one of the more interesting collaborations I think we've covered in a long time here. And you kind of just, I think he does the production there, and just kind of like the album just kind of really dreams itself away.
Yeah,
it's a weird ending, but I think it's the ending that this album's kind of supposed to have.
Yeah.
Like I do like when the album shifts quite a bit and tries to do different things. I think when I was reading about it in the media, they kind of overhyped how much they really try to do stuff.
I don't disagree. There's a bit of an overhype for that, but in the end, like this is it's got to be a phrase I'm going to use so often, but I don't really care because this album just fucks. It doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be absolutely brilliant and stuff. I think it does enough unique throughout it. I think the opening songs on here are a lot better than the rest of the album, but it still fucks. Like Mystery is probably my favorite song off here. It's a fucking fantastic opener. But even when the flow is kind of a little abrupt and harsh on this album, the songs that follow it still hit well enough that you just kind of don't care.
Yeah.
Like it's a really harsh, and I'm not really sure if it's a good hit into Blackout, but then Blackout's a fucking fantastic tune as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't quite get into this one.
That's fine.
Like, I don't know why. I don't know what my problem would really be. I have no problem with hardcore. Like, I like some of the songs here. Like, I think Blackout's fun. I like Fly Again, Holiday. New Heart Design is interesting.
Look, I think if I was going to bring out a hardcore album, which I think is a genuine, like, I'm going for the 10 out of 10 to get the number one of the week, I would have done a La Dispute album from a while back. I would have done Wildlife. I think that's where hardcore kind of peaked, to be honest. But
like,
I mean, this is a band that's showing that there's still a lot more that can be done with this genre, which is fantastic to see.
I guess my immediate connection would be Origami Angel, you know? And so in my mind, I'm kind of comparing those, even though I really shouldn't. But like, thinking about everything from like the genre shifts, I think Origami Angel did them better to like this, like just the shifts between beats and songs in general. I think, again, Origami Angel did a much more enigmatic and like shifty kind of style, and this is fun. This is interesting still, but it does suffer, I think, from
look, I don't think I put this album above Origami Angel, so we'll get an agreement there. I think I enjoyed this album more than you did, but that's also because I've been enjoying this. So like, I've pretty much had this on repeat for like a month at this point.
Sure, that's fair. But like, I'm saying, like the kind of the difference here is that I feel like they start with like an indie beat, or they start with some kind of interesting synthy kind of thing, and then they just go hardcore. You know, they just do hardcore stuff. Like they don't incorporate that opening style usually into the song as well as they could have. Yes, is my complaint there.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have no problem with hardcore. It's just like, but this kind of read is like, okay, this is hardcore with some cool stuff, but nothing quite like doing it for me, I guess. It's not. I don't think it's my number 3 of the week, or number 4 even. But
I mean, I think there's a lot of instrumentation here, whilst it's not so interesting as well, that they do execute well enough that gets me in here. Like, I'm sure if I can guess one of Trix's highlights, I feel like the opening to Holiday might have caught her attention.
Let me. I did not mark down the track titles really, so because I was
that's the
listening
one
to this a lot.
That's the one before the drop happens. It's just nothing but kind of a cruising bass line.
Yeah, that was a good one.
This is definitely an album I feel like
A
Trix would have
big one I
picked.
dug was a big one I dug was New Heart Design.
Yes, New Heart Design is a fun song.
Yes.
But it was definitely that thing of like, this is a Trix album, and then but it's also hardcore. So I'm just like, if Trix was really into hardcore, I feel like this is what she would.
This is
I don't think you're wrong.
This is an album though where I think its biggest strength will be kind of shown in live shows
Yeah.
because I don't
Yeah.
think this is. I don't think. Well, there's a couple songs probably like Underwater Boy might not hit so hard, but there was definitely some absolute tunes that you can expect would just absolutely pop off listening to it in a mosh, like fucking Wild World. I keep
Yeah.
going back to it. Mystery, I think, is just going to be a huge thing. I mean, TLC is. I don't think TLC is one of the big songs off here, but it's still great itself, and that's the kind of song I expect to be a lot better live as well.
Boom, boom, boom. That alone is gonna get people riled up. Going
Yeah.
crazy on boom, boom, boom.
I mean, yeah, I think the peaks on this album are really high for me. Granted, I have a better favorite, a different favorite song to you two, but doesn't mean I don't like New Heart Design. I don't really dislike anything from here, except maybe for moments on here. I think sometimes they do go a little bit too pretentious with the ambience on here, which when this album's strength is that it fucks, going into a bit of that pretentiousness doesn't really help it.
Alright, I have a question.
Yeah.
Who does
Yep.
the singer sound more like? Zach De La Rocha or the guy from Beastie Boys?
Beastie Boys.
Yeah, Beastie Boys. It doesn't sound like either to me though, to be honest.
I don't know. I get that. Like, it's like one or the other sometimes.
Zach De La Rocha has a bit more of a I was gonna say an accent, but I don't know if that's a proper.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of an accent.
Yeah, don't know if that's a proper like, technical term to use for it, but I think it is the accent. That's a bit more relevant in his singing. I mean, granted, everyone in the world has an accent, but
It just, I don't know. There's something about it that really reminded me of like new metal and kind of like rap rock in a way that I really dug.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't specifically call this new metal or rap rock, but I can definitely see the comparisons that can be made to it.
Like, it's inspired by it, but it's not necessarily it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like going into, okay, is Gami Gang math rock, emo, punk pop punk, or is it pop
I
punk,
think
emo,
this album is, despite having that kind of more unique style to the way that they do hardcore, I still think it is quite less ambitious. I don't really want to compare it to Gami Gang because I feel like they're just two completely different albums.
Yeah.
We're comparing an apple to an orange here.
I suppose. I mean, though oranges can be better than apples, I guess.
It depends. I guess it depends. It's all what you want. I mean,
It's
there's so many
all
different
on your
types of
preference.
apples. There's so many different types of oranges. We don't know which one we're comparing to each other.
Like,
How about a
I'm
blood
cooking,
orange? What about a blood orange?
Apple of the
blood
Earth.
oranges are good.
Go ahead.
I'm just talking about how I'm cooking potatoes.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, this is just a fun album. That's really all I had to say about it. There's some quality peaks. I don't think there's any real lulls on this album besides moments on it. Again, I'm kind of repeating myself, but you know, this could potentially be a future for hardcore.
Sure, I'd be down with it.
And I don't think this album will go down in a decade as being an absolute classic, as I mentioned earlier. Lard Disputes Wildlife kind of is. I feel like Turnstile do have the potential to kind of keep growing from this as well, and potentially do make a classic.
Yeah, I can see that.
Time will only tell. But really, kind of the most important thing about this is I think this is a band still to get on whilst it's still kind of early days for them. I know this isn't their first album. They've been putting out albums since 2013, so they've actually been around for quite a while.
Hit it while it's fresh.
Yeah, but they're still making music. They're still evolving. They're pretty much doing their own thing in this scene, and they're standing out because of it. That's like the best thing for them.
And Trix, they recorded.
They're not trying to make absolutely mainstream music here, like a lot of people try to do when they try to branch out of their scene. They're just doing their own thing, and it's working.
They recorded in Tennessee, Trix. We were there.
Oh shit!
On like the northern border, the Latin, whatever you call it.
Damn.
we could have passed
Oh, man,
by
this fucking-
that barn, that
Yeah.
farm they were on.
Yeah,
See,
this
people
jam.
use farms to record music tricks.
Yeah, hey, I got a barn in the back that we're gonna put a stage in.
Oh, you got the for sure go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah. Gonna make a venue.
I want to mention as well for especially people who haven't listened to this album. This is actually quite a short album, considering it's 35 minutes, but there's 15 songs on here, with the longest one of it being just over 3 minutes.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
okay.
Underwater Boy is the longest at 3 minutes and 4 seconds. So this album, you'll kind of notice the flow kind of like being a bit harsh and stuff because songs are short. Sometimes they feel like they would cut short. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they kind of have this short sound to their advantage, so that things, whilst there are moments, yeah, that do prolong a little bit too much. Usually they don't. They kind of keep that short length done well, so they can try and at least do as much as they can with this sound.
Plus, like one of the songs is like
yeah.
a 2 songs in one. Humanoid Shake It Up.
Yeah, and that's a minute that
Yeah.
those 2 songs in total. So
I've seen this thing in criticism where people talk about, oh, I hate when artists put 2 songs together. It's like 2 failed ideas that they cram together. And it's like I don't understand why it's looked at like that.
there are genuine songs in which I think that they have to have, like, I think the complaint comes because they know that it's 2 songs, but there's a really interesting kind of songwriting kind of a tactic that was kind of more first popularized by the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
they would constantly, probably one of the most well-known songs for doing this tactic is A Day in the Life, where it would have all these kind of different songs mixed into one. And the reason being is that they didn't always know how to finish the song, so they kind of like made those songs work together
Right.
into one big song.
Yeah.
Band on the Run is probably my favorite. I know it's Paul McCartney as well, so it kind of brought that on from the Beatles. That's
I mean,
kind
Paul
of my
was the
favorite.
best member of the Beatles. Fight me.
That's kind of my favorite song that they did. That a kind of Beatles member did with that kind of songwriting. And you'll notice that because it starts off with like 2 1-minute songs that sound completely different, actually, but they all work into the same song. Parquet Courts, a couple years back with their album Wide Awake, had a song like that. Almost had to start a fight in and out of patience. The way that kind of continues to be the same song despite being 2 different songs as well is, that kind of songwriting is always been valid. I know it's people go, why you have the 2 different songs, but who cares if they work together as the same song? There's no issue.
Right. I mean, like that was the complaint that Kevin Barnes would get after a while. Is why you just keep combining songs? Make them separate. I think I feel like people are so like inclined to just criticize the method instead of looking at what the method is or what it does or why it's there. Like, sure, you can
Somebody
criticize
say
the
that
method.
to Jeff Mangum.
Yeah, like you can criticize the method, sure, but like I think it's more interesting to talk about the art. The art exists. Why is it like that?
Mm-hmm.
Not like, oh man, it shouldn't be like that, or it should be better than that. Why is it like this? There's always a better explanation than just, oh, the artist just wanted to do 2 failed songs. Like that might be the technical explanation, but looking beyond it, what else could that mean? I don't know. I just feel like that stuff is more interesting than just being like, don't put 2 songs together, you know?
Like I'm not that I'm trying to compare myself to like Paul McCartney and the Beatles and Kevin Barnes, but I did that on my EP. I combined a bunch of shit I did in high school into like 1 song, and you guys liked it.
Yeah,
Kinda.
and that's why it's for sale on Bandcamp.
Yeah, it's free. Just DM me on Twitter and I'll get it to you.
Fair enough.
Your EP was fine. I liked it.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
I can do better.
this is a fun album. That's really as much as I gotta say. My favorite is Mystery.
Album fun.
Blackout up there as well. Least favorite. I mean, maybe Lonely Desires, where it gets a little too ambient at the end, but even then, I still like it. Yeah, I don't really have a proper least favorite though.
Me either.
It's all just moments of this, but there's no like moment that really goes
Yeah.
on it. So
I don't know. I guess if I had to pick a least favorite, maybe no surprise, because just why is it 45 seconds? I feel like it could either be, I don't know. It just feels short and like, whatever. But I mean, it's valid. It's worth being there, maybe. But My favorites are
Yeah.
probably like Underwater Boy, Fly Again, Blackout, New Heart Design.
Mm.
There's some good stuff on here.
New Heart Design, I think I said was my favorite.
Yeah. And no surprise is fine. No, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna,
I
I don't want to
don't-
give No Surprise too much crap. If I'm just picking the least favorite, maybe that would be it. Yeah. All right. That was Turnstile, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Album
Let's-
fun.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about the Turnstile-Man himself, Clint Eastwood.
That was the worst fucking segue that you've done, and I quit the podcast.
It's funny. It's over a Segway instead of steak.
If I leave over puns. This was very nice background music.
Yeah, I like jazz.
So does Clint.
This is pretty good jazz.
Did you like the part where he just at the end he just comes out and he's like, "Hi, I'm Clint Eastwood and I like jazz."
Yeah,
I feel like someone needs
I found that really admirable.
to edit the B movie to have that.
You like jazz?
But no, I am guilty. Clint Eastwood's my guilty pleasure. Really, I like studying him and his movies and what he does. And he's done some bad stuff in his life. He's done some not great things like that. So I don't want to just like idolize him, canonize him, or anything. But I do think it's interesting that this album exists, especially because it's like he is a film composer. He has music chops. He does have like a musical stand in the world. But his love of jazz comes through
Misty
here.
for me was him, right?
He directed that. He did not do the music, but like he directed that.
I knew that he directed it, but I thought he did some form of the music. With
Maybe.
it. I could be wrong.
No,
I am
he didn't
probably
write
wrong.
Misty. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Play Misty for me was his debut. And he's done movies about
Yeah.
songs and musicals since then. He did Jersey Boys, the movie. He did
I didn't know he did that.
yes.
Me neither.
He did the biopic on Charlie Parker called Bird with Forrest Whitaker. He was in Honky Tonk Man, where he was like a honky tonk man going to the Grand Ole Opry in the 80s. Back when he could kind of sing still.
Now, just a reminder that Clint Eastwood is now a callback to my EPs, so I think.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Right.
Yeah, it is. Because
Weird.
Fistful of Dollars, was it?
Yeah, I think so. So
Yeah.
Don't like you talking about my mule. I don't appreciate you guys laughing.
What a wild throwback. Oh, no, that's crazy.
Oh,
But,
man.
I mean, yeah.
We shoehorned both of our VPs in there.
Yeah, this is just a night of jazz, and Clint Eastwood, I guess, either put it together, or like they just liked him and wanted to serve him some nice jazz for the night. And then he's like, "Hey, I'm at Carnegie Hall. I'm never gonna get
I'm
this
always a
chance
fan
again."
of Take Five. You know that song is entirely in 5/4,
I mean, that's why it's called Take
and that's
Five.
why it's
isn't
called
it?
Take Five.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
He has some really interesting like musicians, like some really like people who are old and who were like in that scene back in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. People who worked with Count Basie, like Kenny Barrett or Barry Harris, and he had Claude Williams, who did the violin on a San Antonio Rose. That was a man who was about 90 when he was doing that for this recording. Yeah, he was born in 1908, and he is in 1996 doing a concert. And like even like Jimmy Scott, I think that's his name. Looking it up real quick. I don't want to get it wrong, but yeah, Jimmy Scott, who does the second song in the piece.
Yeah.
First time I ever saw your face, and I did not know who Jimmy Scott was. So you look into it and talking about how he had this. He had what's called common syndrome that really affected his voice and the way that he sang. And so he has a really high contralto for a male.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to kind of hear that and how he was able to make it big and like have this like huge following where he's on stage here in the 90s doing this stuff.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot I think to appreciate what they're trying to do and trying to preserve, I guess, jazz. Like that's one thing Clint talks about in his little appearance is like we gotta preserve it and pass it on. Which I
hide
can
all
see.
our tattoos here.
Yeah. Which I mean, hey, I guess he's saying he has a tattoo. I don't know.
Huh. We'll find out.
But like, there's some good songs in here. Like, I really like the rendition of Round Midnight. Like they had some really nice singers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, jazz can be. It's a very kind of like cruel kind of I guess composition to perform live because if you fuck it up, it's very noticeable.
Yeah,
And
it's very performance heavy.
when you don't fuck it up, you just don't. It's harder to notice just how hard it is to do, especially when it is in non 4/4 time signatures, which they do at times on here.
Yeah.
Especially with take 5, as Trix has mentioned, just 5/4, and just everything here is just nailed.
Yeah,
It's
and like
very, very, very lovely to listen to. Even if it doesn't stand out, it doesn't have to. This is the type of performance where you could just sit there. If I told my friend, if I said, "Hey, I have tickets to this, and you want to come?" and they did, blah blah, blah, I guarantee this is the type of performance that they would love to trip out on ecstasy to.
I'm sure. But like it,
Roll on me to Clint Eastwood.
He did it to Hans Zimmer, so.
oh god, okay, that sounds cool.
I don't doubt it.
But yeah, I mean, like it's a good mix of jazz standards. There's a couple themes of Clint Eastwood's. Like he does, like they do the theme from Unforgiven, Claudia's theme. They do, for some reason, the theme from Tightrope, which Tightrope is a deep cut from Clint Eastwood. That's an '80s movie that no one talks about. And the theme is like a big sax solo, so it makes sense. But yeah, the theme from the movie Laura from the '40s, and then just like a good handful of other stuff. They play Misty a couple different times in a couple different ways.
Yeah.
I still think Sarah Vaughan maybe did it better, but these renditions were cool too. I do appreciate that he really did come out and play for a song at least.
Yeah.
And then like everyone, it was like the school performance though, kind of like where he just starts going and everyone starts clapping along with him. Like they're just like cheesing him on a little bit. It's like, come on, let the guy play. Let him have his piece. Like this isn't like a
He's
talent
trying
show.
his best, guys.
And, like he's not doing bad. Clint Eastwood has made like a piano jazz documentary before. He knows what he's talking about at least. This is his passion. And like he's never been the greatest musician or anything, but I think this is worth. I don't know. I feel like they were being a little patronizing. It's like you don't need to patronize Clint.
He patronizes himself.
Right. Like you're patronizing his concert. That's enough.
Guys, stop bullying Clint Eastwood. It's not fun anymore.
Clint Eastwood did nothing wrong, which Britney dad's out of the conservatorship. Fuck yeah.
Britney Spears out of conservatorship. Hell yeah. Clint Eastwood also produced a documentary on Thelonious Monk, and Thelonious Monk's son is also on this album. So again, he really knows what he's talking about. It really gets good people together to perform for the night.
Yeah.
He had his production company had like a record label, pretty much to put out this and like his film scores. They do the song from Bridges of Madison County, which was like his latest movie when this came out, which a weird movie to really pick from because that movie is not the most memorable in the world. But hey, you got other stuff.
It's on this album.
Yeah, it's here. And wow,
as someone who hasn't really grown up watching movies too much, especially Clint Eastwood ones, there were a lot of songs in here I was kind of just hearing for the first time.
Yeah.
Like I was recognizing a lot of jazz standards because like I'll admit my knowledge of jazz is mostly like guitar oriented jazz from like the 70s, like your Pat Metheny's, but like I know the standards. Like when Take 5 came on, I was tapping my foot. I was cooking more potatoes at that time. I was enjoying it.
Take 5 is probably the most like well known jazz song they do on here, to be honest.
It is.
Yeah,
I just think it's interesting.
I mean, in 2 weeks we're gonna be a little spoiler alert. We're gonna be doing a different kind of jazz.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, baby.
But like stuff like Claudia's theme, where Claudia's theme and the Unforgiven soundtrack is very dramatic, very like emotional, end of movie impactful, and here it's just like this nice little jazz ditty, you know?
Yeah.
It's interesting how context and like the heaviness of a song can really change it. When he won Best Picture for Unforgiven and he went up there and accepted the award, they also played a different version of it then, and it's just like, yeah, you really took the emotion out of that song, but it still sounds like a decent tune. I guess I can understand why they'd include it here. But yeah, you know, they even go into like the Richard Rodgers collection with I Didn't Know What Time It Was, which, you know, I have my problems with Rodgers and Hammerstein, but Rogers and Hart, I guess I don't know as much about. That was like the pre-relationship to Rogers and Hammerstein before the Oklahomas and the South Pacifics of the world.
My one of that, just a side note, one of my favorite jokes on Metalocalypse involves Rogers and Hammerstein. It's where Murderface is playing the guitar and writing a song where he talks about the titty fish.
Uh-huh.
And they keep calling him like, okay, Simon and Garfunkel, okay, Rogers and Hammersteins, okay, Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young.
I still need to like actually properly watch Metacalypse.
My one of my cats was named after a character in it.
Yeah, I remember
Fatty Ding Dongs.
Metalocalypse being on, like people being fans of it, but I never saw it.
It's a good show.
This is now the Metacalypse podcast where it's just Tricks talking about Metacalypse. Because we don't know.
Good show. Watch it.
Fair enough.
Has a lot of metal cameos in it. Troy Sanders is in it. Mastodon. Fuck yeah.
The only real classic one is like, what's the clown's name? The one that does cocaine.
Fuck. What is his name? It's like Dr. Roxo.
Yeah, that's it. I'm Roxo the Clown. I do cocaine.
I do cocaine.
All right, I just want to share the Wikipedia page on Claude Williams, who did the violin in his 90s in this concert, and just the picture that they've included is very adorable, and very just like someone just took that picture at home. I feel like.
Aw, yeah.
He's just like this little old man, just with a violin, and like either like a hotel room or somebody's just like apartment.
Yeah, it looks like a hotel room. His nickname was Fiddler.
Here he is and doing a lot of shit.
Yeah.
He was the last surviving jazz
I love it
musician
when old
to
people
have
do shit
recorded
like
before
that.
1930, according to Wikipedia.
Wow.
Oh, that's from jazzhouse.org, sourced.
Jazz. You like jazz?
Okay. I don't really have much else to say. Really, I just think.
So this is a fun time. I think.
Yeah,
I think
it's a good background album.
When I think it comes to celebrity albums and stuff like that, there's a lot which are just boring as shit and not really much to talk about. It's like if you did a Childish Gambino, which is obviously a Donald Glover, I feel like it would be less interesting at this point as well. Just how well known Donald Glover is at this point, but
I think Don
so
Glover
many...
at this point is more well known for Childish Gambino than any of his work.
I mean, he's acted in some pretty big shit, specifically Star Wars,
Atlanta.
and well, Star Wars and Spider.
I forgot about Star Wars, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, well, that was the Han Solo film where they decided to advertise Lando more than they did Han Solo. So,
which I mean, yeah, Billy D. Williams carried fucking Episode 5.
Well, unfortunately, he wasn't Lando. So, in the Solo,
he's an old man now. So
yeah,
Don Glover pulled it off real well.
Yeah, I thought Solo was fine. Solo was like the most fine movie. Like it's.
I'm not trying to go at Donald Glover or anything here. I think he's talented as
Favorite
well.
Star Wars movie? Hot take. Rogue One.
Rogue One. Yeah.
Wait, so what did you say? Was that the best one, or?
Rogue One's my favorite.
Yeah, no, Rogue One was the best out of the because I was forced to watch all the fucking new ones. I didn't see Solo, but I was forced to watch 7 to 9 and Rogue One. Rogue One is actually entertaining.
I like 8 a lot. Always gonna like 8 a lot.
Don't care what you say about 8. 9 is still fucking trash though.
That's fair.
I like 9.
I like 9 in the sense that it's a dumb action movie, and Star Wars fans deserve it.
I agree.
I hear they're going to be remaking the trilogy.
They better not. It's wasted at this point. There's no reason to ever do that. Ever.
Look, I reckon 8 would have been fine if 9 didn't also try to fucking erase everything that 8 did.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people hated 8 because of how diverse it was.
It's a non-problem.
I thought the diverse was fine. I thought just trying to bring in a new character instead of having the two main as a fucking love story was fine, but I hated how much it spent on fucking Kylo Ren and I already forgot what Rey.
Reylo fucking sucks ass.
Yeah, well,
I'm
okay.
opinionated about
Okay,
Star
but
Wars.
those telepathic scenes were shot really cool.
They were shot really cool. I will give you that.
Not really,
But-
from my opinion. But
But Reylo as a couple, Sucks ass. Couples built on abuse are not good.
I hated that number 8 because it spent so much time being a fucking 4chan love story between what seemed to be an autistic supervillain and some rando who just started browsing 4chan for the first time. If that was actually it, that would have been a better story. But instead, they decided to do a metaphor for that in Star Wars. So.
Like, I think it would have been more interesting had they not gotten together and they were just like these connected people because of their past and their relationship. There's a lot of things that
my favorite my favorite complaints about fucking movie number 9 was all those goddamn shadowy figures that looked like people that kept just moving across the screen, and they all kept going towards like the left side of the theater, but they never seemed to have come back, and I don't know what was up with that.
So anyway, my favorite song off this album is Take 5, and I don't really think I have a least favorite.
Same.
I like Around Midnight the most. I don't know what I like about that song. I think it's just the first time I've really heard that song and really got to understand it. So I really dug that one. Least favorite, I don't know. Maybe the second rendition of Misty or something, because it really wasn't Misty. It was like kind of there, but it's jazz, so it really kind of went away from it. Which, you know, that's what jazz is, but I felt like the first version was better. Yeah. I will say it's funny to me that Clint Eastwood was like trying to be a musician, and then like in college and stuff, like even study music theory even, and then just became an actor, and it was just like, yeah, music, I guess I should still do that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like, I mean, you got Keanu Reeves picking up a bass every now and then.
Yeah, but that's Clint Eastwood After Hours. I can't believe I actually fucking did this album. It's probably one of my wilder picks, I think.
Yeah. It's a good pick.
I'm surprised y'all like it as much as you do.
I like jazz. I'm not Mike Kroll.
But you are a bee.
Yes, but are we man or are we Astro-Man?
I guess we are Astro-Man.
What did you guys think of this album?
EEVIAC's a fucking great album.
This also fucks.
EEVIAC fucks real hard.
I don't know.
It fucks and it doesn't know what fucking is.
I think I preferred. This might be a bit of a hot take, but I think I preferred the EP.
The EP was
no, I can
alright.
understand that.
I like
the EP was like more traditional surf rock.
I like,
and it had that really dark 50s kind of end of the world apocalypse. The nukes are gonna come. They're gonna blow everybody up. I love that.
I think EEVIAC tried to do a lot more, but was a little bit more hit and miss with it. And the EP was just a lot more consistent. But I still like them both.
I think there's a bit more of a quality gap between them, but I think EEVIAC has just done so well. To me, it's like this really interesting mix of like a war between like the surf punk and like the electronic realm, like kind of like man versus computer in a way. At least that's the way I read into it.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's.
I don't know if you guys watched any live video of these guys, which I don't blame you if you didn't. But they have like a Tesla coil on stage. They've got big CRTs blasting B-movie shit out of it. Not B-movie, but sci-fi B-movie.
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Like all
the samples they have.
Oh, yeah.
And I just like the implication that the computer won in the end because the computer reads out the liner notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bonus track was like just an odd kind of inclusion, but like
Tism did it.
Yeah, I know, but like they did it in they did it more kind of like poetry, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
It's not to say that it doesn't fit.
No, I mean, there was something about the recording I think that was very crisp and just like you could really hear each instrument really, really well.
Yeah, you got fucking Star Crunch laying down that lead guitar, Coco the Space Monkey with the bass, just oh yeah.
It's spacey in a way where it actually is creating like a space around you of just sounds that you can kind of hear the depth of. That I think is really cool. Really stood out to me, especially compared to other surf punk that we've done, or even like Turnstile. Or I think I like this over Turnstile purely because of how well it sounds, how good the instrumentation is.
Yeah, this isn't really surf punk. This is just more like traditional surf, but like it's
surf rock, surf punk, whatever.
But no, yeah. It is done phenomenally well.
Right.
It's fun.
Yeah, but it's very much electronic versus surf rock.
Yes, it is.
Alternating
That's
tracks
the
pretty
EEVIAC.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is prime a good album to listen to if you're playing Outer Worlds.
Okay.
I've never played that, so
glad-
I can't agree or disagree with that.
I'm just glad we finally got
You haven't
to
played
this.
Outer Worlds?
No, I haven't played Outer Worlds. It didn't really look like my type of game, to be honest.
It's
I-
like Fallout.
I never played Fallout either.
Jesus, pick up Fallout 4 when it's inevitably on sale.
No, I'm good.
enough.
I'm not gonna play it. That's the thing. It's just not my type of game.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Fine.
But,
I'm reminded of.
Yeah, this is just a great album. I love this, guys. And I'm glad I finally got to pull them out. I was waiting for like the right opportunity to do so. Like I wanted to do them around Halloween because they're a good Halloween band.
Yeah. We were gonna.
And then next week we finally do the one I've been meaning to do for like 2 years at this point.
Yeah, both of those were gonna be in an episode in like December 2019. I feel like, and then that was when I was gonna do AFI's December Underground, and I was like, oh, I should really get to that. So I just did it in like 2020. Then you all were like, nah, we're gonna really wait on these other two.
Fuck! I just dropped a fully cooked potato on the floor.
Oh.
If I remember right, Trix, you were gonna do Intravenous Television Continuum originally.
Yeah, that's not on streaming anymore.
Really?
Look
Yeah,
what
or at
happens
least on
when you
YouTube
wait.
Music.
That would have been a wild pick then if we'd done that. Of like, it's on streaming, but now it's not.
Yeah, but
But we did.
yeah,
EEVIAC.
I need to get my hands on some of these EPs physically because I don't know if you've looked at their catalog on Wikipedia, but holy shit, do they have a shit ton of EPs?
Yeah, they put out a lot of tracks. Deluxe Man in Space is just like one of the later ones. We should really talk about Deluxe Man in Space, and that EEVIAC is like man versus computer, electronic versus surf rock. Deluxe Man in Space is just about nuclear power.
Yeah, and it nails that vibe hard.
Like just starting out with like how nuclear power is going to kill you, and at the end it kills you.
Yeah.
Like Rhombix, the last track is just like the nuclear warning signal, basically, all distorted and funky, because it just everything is dying and the bombs have gone off.
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
I was just doing a Simpsons code.
Mr. Nuclear.
Whatever.
But
Tomato.
No, it's not. It's not an aluminium sort of deal.
Potato. I dropped my hot potato.
Hot potato.
I am cooking potatoes.
Potato. Yeah, they talk about Uranus.
Anyways.
Uranus is an old planet, faraway planet. It's not the last planet.
It's blue.
Yep. That's pretty much the whole song. It's a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, this EP is like what? Trying to count it up here.
Like 10 minutes, not even. That's why I tacked it on.
Yeah, about 10-ish minutes. And they get a lot done in 6 songs.
Yeah. You don't need a lot with surf punk or surf rock. I did it. But yeah.
Oh, let's see.
Ash is just staring at me because I'm still playing Cookie Clicker while we're doing this podcast. Come on, I'm at 360 million.
Fuck.
What is fuck, what was I gonna say? Shit, let me think for a second.
This is a 7-inch.
Oh yeah, was this was this worth the 2-year wait to do?
I suppose.
Worth 2 years of waiting, but it was still fun. I wasn't really waiting 2 years though.
I was waiting 2 years.
Yeah.
And
I didn't have it in my mind for 2 years, so I kind of pity you, sorry, Dominic.
Well, I'm still gonna wait until we do Intravenous Television Continuum. This is gonna tie me over. We've covered Man or Astro-Man, but let's get to that original episode's catalog.
I'm gonna have to do some sneaky DP shit and try and find like a big collection of their stuff online.
Yeah. Maybe get some tapes and just record them to MP3. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's out there. I didn't even know if they do tapes for Man or Astro-Man. But
I think they mostly did 7 inches.
Yeah. This one's a CD at least. Deluxe Man in Space.
Yeah.
I should probably find that then. Actually, on that note, Dope Smoker got sent in the mail the other day, so.
Fuck yeah, you bought that on CD?
Yeah, I bought that on CD. That's gonna come soon.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I've been bringing the doom metal to work as well.
How are they liking it?
Some of them appreciate it. Some of them are kind of like, oh, interesting. It's 80 minutes long, huh? It's Mirror Reaper song. Okay.
Actually, I was in the liquor store today, and the Mad Lad was playing Idols, but they weren't playing like
Ooh.
they weren't playing like a Danny Nadelko or something. They were playing June, And if you don't know what that song is about, that was the frontman from the Idols writing a song about his wife's miscarriage,
Oh,
and that was the song they decided they were going to play in the liquor store.
honestly, mood.
Oh, sorry. I just saw somebody in my work got engaged. That's cool. Anyway.
Oh, that is cool.
That's cool. Congratulations to them. Do they want Idols June?
Sure. Send it to him. I don't know.
Yeah. Happy Engagement is a depressing song.
Oh.
But yeah, Man or Astro-Man, good albums.
Good album. This fucks.
Yes. I don't even know what a favorite could be. The one thing I will say that I was not as big about, this happened for both this and Turnstile, was that the songs didn't stand out to me as much this week. It's harder for me to pick like favorites or least favorites.
I think the songs, I mean, they did for Turnstile for me, but
I was able to do it
for other reasons and stuff. But I don't think songs really needed to stand out this week. I think the albums in a whole just did well what they needed to do well, and that's being fun or chill, or both.
Like the songs I remember most are like Decontamination, especially Myopia. Myopia was interesting. And then Deluxe Man in Space, Rhombix at least got like that terrified emotion from that like special sense of dread when it's like nuclear shit comes into play. That's fun at least.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a pretty solid week overall.
I don't know. I was really happy with this week.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for Tropical Flux Storm. Oh wait, maybe I'll get my wish in a second.
Yeah. Just so that Tropical Flux Storm has been delayed 2 years.
Fuck you. Tropical fuck you. Anyway.
I mean, we'll talk about that after we've done our rankings for the week.
I'll go first. I feel like this is kind of it just artificially just done because I really don't know how to rank these. I feel like they're all good at what they do in different ways, and some ways are better than others. I don't know. So maybe I would put like 4 would be Deluxe Man in Space, 3 would be Clint Eastwood, 2 would be Turnstile, 1 would be EEVIAC.
I'm gonna put 4 as Clint Eastwood, 3 as EEVIAC, and then I'm going to kind of tie the EP and Turnstile, but EEVIAC's also not too far away from that as well. It's a bit of a coward move, but I don't care.
I myself am gonna go Clint Eastwood at number 3. I'm gonna put Turnstile at number 2, and I'm gonna put the EP and EEVIAC at co-1.
Yeah, if we have the EP and EEVIAC co with each other, I agree with Trix.
I'm not calling them, but sure, that's totally fair. I can understand why you would do that.
Don't get me wrong, I love Clint Eastwood. I enjoyed Turnstile, but I'm coming back to Man or Astro-Man every time.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it's a great album. Deluxe Man in Space isn't bad either. I just ended up enjoying more songs on the Clint Eastwood than just Rhombix on Man or Deluxe Man. It's like Rhombix was pretty much the song for me.
That's fair.
But beyond that, next week.
So do you want me to go first or last?
Yeah, let's go. You go first.
All right. So this is one that's been planned for 2 years. Dominic has just completely spoiled it, but that's fine. I still have a bit of build up to do. So I've actually got this whole month kind of planned out. I don't know if it will go for the whole month, but the next 3 weeks. And there's a rap album that I listened to the other day that I plan to cover because I think it's really, really interesting. There's a lot of context behind it that's going to give a lot of stories to talk about, and just the production is insane. But there's 2 problems. One, there's an artist that they sample in there that I finally need to cover before we do that album. And then the other problem is that there's another artist that I need to cover that I've been planning to cover for 2 years. So we're going to be doing that kind of in the backwards order of how I've just presented everything. And the first one of those, finally getting to cover before we can get to this, is Tropical Fuck Storm, which I think will also help into going into the week after as well for listening. And this is some kind of art rock, very blues rocky album known as A Laughing Death in Meat Space, which
Oh,
Gareth Lydiard
Hmm.
interesting.
is a very well known songwriter in the Australian underground scene. He mostly was known for his work with the Drones, and they actually kind of formed this supergroup called Tropical Fuckstorm, and they made this very politically charged blues art rock album, which was one of my favorites of 2018. And because of that, I was promising that I'd be wanting to cover this album for a long time, and now we're finally here. So Dominic can shut the fuck up.
I will say, Ritz, this is meant to be a 2021 week, but
I don't care.
Oh, is it really?
yeah, but that's fine.
I don't care.
That's-
I don't.
Can we put
I don't-
2021 next week? Next week?
Yeah, do it
Oh,
the week
fuck.
after because do it the week after because I got 2021 albums pretty much lined up after this.
Hey, if you really
Because
want
I
to,
got a 2013 pick currently.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. Give me a second.
Yeah,
Let me
I'll go next then.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, there was a little bit of controversy about this band about a year ago. Although, from what I understand, I think they were in the clear. But if not, it's still a good surf punk album. It's one of my favorites. I'm going to be doing The Frights, self-titled from 2013.
See, when I was saying
And
there was
I'm
a
also
bit of controversy about this band, I was fully expecting you to say the Growlers.
As was I.
I have them planned soon.
You just remember we did do casual acquaintances already.
Yeah, but there's an album that the Growlers did that like really affected like how I perceive music and like how I grew as an artist myself. And like I really need to cover it.
Okay,
But
that's fair.
I would like to cover the Frights self-titled, and I'm also going to tag on their single collection of Tongues and Puppy Knuckles from 2014.
Fair enough.
What's it called? What is it?
Tongues, Puppy Knuckles. It's two singles on one thing.
Okay.
I'll screenshot it.
Yeah.
Now, Dominic, what's your choice for next week?
Well, since we're not doing 2021, I'm going to go back to something else that I was going to do next week then. This is our first album I picked that has been suggested to me by somebody else that we have already covered. And by that, I'm picking an album that Lorenzo himself told me about that he liked.
Oh, shit.
We are going to do Ty Segall and Michael Cronin's Reverse Shark Attack.
That's a good album. Hell yes.
Well, this should be an interesting week.
Indeed.
I hope. If not, we apologize.
We got okay.
We don't promise shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so episode 75 will be a 2021 album episode, which I think is more fitting anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, so next episode 74, we're going to do Tropical Fuckstorms, A Laughing Death in Meat Space. We're doing The Frights, with Tongues and Puppy Knuckles as the singles. We're doing Ty Segall and Michael Cronin's Reverse Shark Attack, as suggested by Lorenzo Gillis Cook.
I mentioned that a while ago too, so I'm down for this.
I don't remember if you mentioned it first or he mentioned it to me, honestly.
Either or.
I mentioned it around the time we did Slaughterhouse.
We did what?
Slaughterhouse.
Oh yeah, this was way before that.
I'm just pronouncing it like a dickhead, and I've known about it beforehand, so
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
I'm excited. This is gonna be a good week.
All right. That's going to be Dissonant Waves then. I've been Dominic. You can catch me on Twitter at DACICHOCKI. TiltingWindmillStudios.com is where I used to write stuff. You can go there if you wish. I'm on YouTube. But like you don't really need to. It's not that important. I'm on another podcast sometimes. I will mention. I do guest on there sometimes called Games My Mom Found. Catch me on a handful of episodes there covering games like Mega Man Legends, Metroid Fusion, Metroid Zero Mission, recording episodes soon on Onimusha. And I also released my short film that I did as a student, finally, after 4 years of being edited and developed, finished. It's called Beat. You find it on my Twitter, my pin post for at least right now. Yeah, it's on my YouTube as well.
I have been Ritalin. You can catch me on my website, ritalinforkids.github.io. I also have a YouTube channel that's in the description below. Man, I still love how the IO and below just rhyme with each other. It makes it seem like I've actually got a coordinated thing, but I'm just saying it off the top of my head. I don't really have any other way to contact me, so if those don't work, that's the coldest. Sincerely, fuck off.
Leave a Steam review.
Yeah, fuck off.
Leave a good Steam review. Maybe, if you like it.
Yeah.
Only good reviews, please. I like to shill my game.
I have been Trix. You can catch me at procrastinaut_ on Twitter. That's like procrastinating astronaut. And it's an underscore at the end of it. I am still cooking potatoes because fuck yeah, I am. And I have a bot account I've been tweaking where I'm gonna raffle off a position in it where you can get added a whole bunch of times.
Okay.
and I might also have a TikTok at some point soon.
All right.
And catch us all on at Dissonant Waves, that space, and Dissonant Waves on YouTube, where you're watching us now.
Yeah. That sounded way better than any time else we've ever done this, so that was cool. Yeah, that was awesome. All right, that's gonna be it for us, everybody. Have a great
Catch you next time.
Catch you next time
Whoa.
on Dissonant Waves.